Welcome to CATtheMinion YouTube channel. My name is Teresa, but you can call me Cat. This is Adventures with Plastic Crack. We are doing mini notes here, and this is part 3 of 15 of Perfume Pretty Barbie and all that she encompasses. So we're looking at Mexico and we're looking at Spain. These are going to be just like the European and the United States edition and the Canadian editions of the dolls. And again, in Spain and Mexico, we only have the white dolls in Whitney, and that's common in a lot of sets. So we're looking at Mexico. It's called Fragancia in Spanish, and it took me a lot it took me a long while of moving all these around to figure out that it was Fragancia and not Fragrancia. So there's a difference in the language there. Although this advertisement here, that's in Spanish, says fragrance on the bottle, but that is not what we find in the production dolls. They've got an American bottle in that little picture there, and for some reason it says Ken Darko, and it's the font from the 90s here in this ad that's clearly dated 1987, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. It looks like, I mean, maybe somebody added that on Photoshop that on there. It's a later date. But anyway, brand new Barbie and Ken here. So we have Fragancia Barbie. This is, I should point out too that it's really hard to tell the difference between the Spanish and the Mexican dolls unless you're looking at the back of the box, because it will say made in Mexico on the dolls that are Mexican, but it also these Mexican dolls are made in association with Oramat. There used to be, oh, I forgot what it was already. There was a different company that Mattel was using in Mexico in the 70s when they made Valerie Tahitiana and some of those other ones, and I can't remember what it's called. Oh, Sipsa. Sipsa used to be the one in Mexico, but in the 80s it was Oramat. And then the ones in Spain used to be Congost, but the Spain ones for Perfume Pretty Barbie say Mattel España on them, so I don't know if it's still Congost or not. But the ones for Mexico are Oramat. It just says Oramat on the back. There isn't any separate logo, though. It's just the Mattel logo on it. So we have Barbie Fragancia. And I can't really see what it says on her perfume bottle, but we see that there's some slight differences. The comb looks kind of wonky here. There's definitely a difference in the vinyl used for Barbie. Her dress looks mostly the same. The fabric might be a little bit different color. It just varies from country to country and plant to plant depending on where they're being made. So we have Oramat Barbie here, Fragancia, and the back of her box, which is all in Spanish. And then just we're zooming in on this comb, which is similar but a little weird looking. It's got a widow's peak, and the tines look finer. It's a little more square. Here's a one out of the box. You can see that she looks mostly the same, but there's a little bit of difference. She doesn't have her original hairstyling, but we can see that you have a golden color here. So here's Whitney in Spain, in Mexico, and she's called Laura. No princess, she's just Laura. She's been demoted. She looks mostly the same. Her face looks a little bit different, and again, that's just a regional thing. I've got a small image here that's definitely Oramat, and then I have a larger image that's clearer, but I can't guarantee whether it's Mexico or Spain because I've only got the front of the box here. So it says La Mayor Amiga de Barbie. I'm guessing that J is supposed to be pronounced as an H. I'm not sure. So Barbie's best friend there. Okay, so I don't have a separate picture of Ken. I've only got I've only got a picture on the back of Barbie's box so that we know that in that advertisement, so that we know that Ken was supposed to be available in Mexico. I just haven't found one for sale online that I could find a picture of him. So then in Spain we have again issued by Mattel España. Just skimming my text that I've got here. So we have slight differences in materials, and we see here that Spanish Barbie has, I mean, her bangs are a little bit different here. I don't know if that's somebody just decided to style her that way. We can see that her shawl looks a little bit darker in its pink color, and they've got a brush with long tines there, so that might have been happening also. And then again, the edging, the top stitched edges on her tulle look a little darker, and her dress looks a little bit lighter actually. But her face paint is different. We see that in some of the Spanish-speaking countries, they tend to have like heavier makeup, and it tends to skew more pink than anything a lot of the time. So we have this stacked pink eyeshadow all the way up to her eyebrows and pastel pink lipstick. She looks a little bit surprised, and I think a lot of that is her bangs. So there's another picture of this same doll. The good zoom in on Barbie's necklace there. I think it's supposed to be clear or sort of frost colored, that bow-shaped necklace. But they usually aged as sort of crusty yellow color, and it doesn't look that great. So we have a Spanish Ken here. Like 90% sure it's Spanish Ken, and you can see that his face paint is a little bit different. And then the fabric texture is a little bit different, and sometimes the coloration is a little bit different there as well. More or less the same body molds, and again just the plastics and paint and fabrics are slightly different here. And then we have Laura from Spain, and we see that I mean, this whole thing looks faded here, but just in general, the blue fabric looks brighter than in other samples, and it could be sun faded like the front of the box appears to be. It looks like she's got dangly earrings, but it's just the shine from the plastic holding her hair, and so we see that in Spain, Laura is essentially the same as she is everywhere else as Whitney. So I'm gonna see if there's anything else going on here that I should read. I mean, essentially, these two different countries are selling the same dolls, right? Barbie, Ken, and Laura, and they're more or less the same as what you would see. But you can see, like, when you look at them, you know that they're just a little bit different than the other ones, and it kind of helps determine, you know, that you have a different version. So I'm going to be doing part 4 next, and that's going to be Japan and the Philippines, which are finally going to be some variations on these dolls. So stay tuned for that when it comes. I'm going to find out where my window is so I can stop this. Toodaloo!